Somebody waved at me. Hello. The accessibility and disability in cosplay panel, because we all know for people on this panel, it's a struggle. As you can see, we're sat in the front of the stage because we can't actually get on this stage. So yeah, point one for how bad Megacon's accessibility is.
Should we do some introductions?
Yeah, so I'm Nora Cosplay. I've been doing this for like 10 years now, and yeah, I'm deaf. I don't have my hearing aids in right now, but I am deaf, so that's why I'm here today. I'm going to teach you some sign language after this panel as well. It's going to be fun.
Oh, see, learning things every day. Hi, I'm Richard. I've been doing cosplay for about 14, 15 years. And yeah, I've got a multiple of issues, not just physical but also mental, and if I just blank out into space, you'll know why.
So I'm Catherine, also known as Black Avon Creations. We're not going to go into my long list of diagnoses, but I do have a lot of physical issues mobility-wise. So yeah.
Do you want to what?
I'm a loud mouth, so it might actually be easier.
How's that? That's a lot better.
Just hold it closer, yeah.
Keep the microphone.
You see, I sound much better because my voice is closer to the microphone.
Okay, cool. Let's kick it off. So we're going to talk all things accessibility and why it's important in cosplay. So do you want to kick off?
Do you want to kick off? Yes.
Okay, let's kick it off. So, one big thing that I've always come across is it's kind of becoming a thing, as not every disability is visible. And for me, mostly, if you see me just stood somewhere or walking somewhere, you wouldn't necessarily go, they're disabled. But, you know, I still am, and I still need the accessibility issues. I still need help sometimes. I've, actually forgot my knee braces here this weekend, so I've had to go and buy one for the worst knee that I have. So, yeah, if there's one takeaway is don't judge a book by its cover. If someone says they need help with accessibility, believe them, because it's so hard just kind of going, yeah, I actually need help. No, you don't. Yeah, I do, actually. Thanks. So I don't know how we want to kick it off, or if we want to do anecdotal, or if we want to kind of just spiel.
I have a point. So this is on a general cosplay point. Never judge someone for changing their cosplays, because there's people out here who need to change their cosplays for accessibility reasons. Say you've not got a part of your cosplay because of accessibility reasons. Someone's like, oh, you don't look good because you've not got a part of this cosplay. Don't judge them for it, because they may have something underlying. And changing cosplay is perfectly fine. Like, if you need to make those modifications, do it. It's the most important thing you can do.
Do it.
So do it as well as respecting people who have done it. For example, if someone's not wearing makeup or not wearing heels, just respect that, because they might have an issue which stops them from doing so.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, I know that both of us do it, but we put ourselves in pain for the sake of cosplay, and we shouldn't do it, but we do, because that's just what we do.
When you saw me yesterday in those heels.
Yeah, you have the killer 6-inch heels on. I do it, I have cosplays where I really should have my knee sports on, or where I should have something else, or I'm wearing a wig that's far too tight and I've got tons of makeup on, which really aggravates my skin. But yeah, today I kind of went, actually I really need a comfort day, and that's okay. So I have a fully, and I'm going to admit this, it is a fully store-bought costume, and I'm wearing my gym shoes. So, everyone needs to do it. You don't always need to be flashy. You don't always need to have made your costume, spend hours into a sewing machine.
Yeah.
Last minute to do what you need to do. You're still a valid cosplayer just because you bought your costume, because you still, everyone looks amazing. We've all put this effort in. We've all come to this one location, and we all should have respect for one another.
We should all be proud of each other.
Exactly.
We've all made it here today.
Yeah, agreed.
Which brings me on to another point, actually. people can do different things on different days. So some days, some person might be wearing heels, and that's okay, but that doesn't give you a right to judge them because they might not wear them on another day. They might be having a flare-up, they might have just worn it too much and worn themselves out, and both options are okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the best thing to say to yourself, like, I'm not comfortable doing this, and that is the best thing that you can do.
Yeah. Like if I do a character, sometimes I'll have multiple versions of that character, and if someone says, actually, I want to see you in this version, and I go, no, because I might overheat, I might pass out, I might want to rip my own skin off, so I just decide, no, actually, against what everyone else wants, I'm going to be me, I'm going to do what's right for me, and right for my body, not for someone else.
And that goes for everyone.
Yeah.
Just look after yourself. Don't push yourself for the validation of other people, because it's just not worth it.
Literally, the reason you should cosplay is for yourself, not for anybody else.
No.
And like, if you need adjustments to your cosplay, say like I have autism, and if you need like stim toys or like anything like that, bring them. Nobody will judge you for it. If you have them and you need them, bring them. Incorporate them into your cosplay. Have some fun with it.
Yeah, I've seen some really decorated sticks, walking sticks, decorated crutches. They're really, really pretty. I've seen decorated wheelchairs. I love seeing them, and I love to see the creativity that everyone has adapting their cosplay to be able to be themselves and not have to hide that or be able to hide that.
That sounds amazing.
At the end of the day, cosplay is an art, and people do art differently, so if they've adapted something, then that's amazing, and they should also be respected for that. One thing I've noticed personally is you don't get as much positive attention when you have a mobility aid with you, whether that is a walking stick, whether you're in a wheelchair. People just don't tend to bother as much, if that makes sense. If you don't have any of those, even if you need them, then people will generally pay more attention to you, even though that's not what it's all about, but it's still nice to feel respected and seen.
If you've also got a mobility aid, it can make you feel invisible, because like we learned yesterday going to the masquerade, like people would just stop in front of Avon's mobility scooter and it'd be like, no, we're trying to go somewhere. Please stop doing this.
Another thing people don't realise about mobility scooters is they don't stop straight away, so it's not a good idea to walk in front of one because they don't stop.
We will run your toes over and we do not care.
That, we don't have a choice.
Voice of the
Should we share some anecdotes?
Oh, I think is it
It's
time? Is
time.
it story time?
It's story time.
We love story time.
Avon, do you want to kick it off with your Liverpool Comic-Con story?
Oh, which one to choose? Which one to choose?
You can have them all if you want.
Let's start off with a recent one. I'm not going to be naming any conventions. So, for one convention I attended as an exhibitor, we were offered free parking for being an exhibitor. This parking, there were no disabled spaces whatsoever. The footing was deep gravel, so when I was in my scooter, I got stuck. I couldn't get out. It took 3 of us to get out of this car park. It just wasn't suitable, and then on top of all that, it was another 15 minutes. So for a day where I might not have a scooter, because I'm not expecting to have to walk that far, I wouldn't be able to attend the convention, or I'd be really late, as I was yesterday. So if things are on offer, just make them accessible for everyone, because it's not a privilege, it's a need. Which brings me on to another point. Don't abuse other people's needs for things. So if there is a ramp and stairs, don't take the ramp just because you don't feel like it. Don't take the lift just because you don't feel like it, because there might be someone behind you who needs that, not because they want it, but because otherwise they might not be able to do something, and everyone deserves the right to do everything regardless of their ability.
Yeah. Also, like, accessibility toilets as well is a big thing for me. Because like I don't know, this is going to be a bit gross, but like I can't determine when I do, so I just might go, I need to go right now, and like I can't be queuing for someone that's getting changed in a toilet, and I'm like, there is an actual changing room like right here. Why are you not using this changing room when I need to use this toilet? So yeah, that's another thing that I would definitely say that needs to be kept free. So don't abuse that fact that there's a toilet right there when you could walk 5 foot to the other one.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, please do not abuse things. We need these things. Like, you can get changed in the changing rooms. We provide these changing rooms at Guild of Nerds for a reason. Like, use them for God's sakes. I think.
Not every convention has changing rooms, which I think is something that con organisers need to think about, because otherwise, this is what happens. People miss out on things that they need, like toilets, because others are using them because they don't really have another choice.
Absolutely. I think this brings us on to the access story. You know the one.
Which one are we? Oh yeah.
access
Oh,
story.
so there is. I'm not going to name names, but everyone's going to know which con this is as soon as I mention it. It's the big one in London. I'm not going to say. I didn't have to name it, did I? But they have where they're doing engineering works over at the back of their hall. They said, "Oh, you can come through if you have an accessibility lanyard, or you are disabled, or you can have proof of that."
And we had all three of those things.
We had our lanyards. I think you had your cane with you at one point.
I had my knee braces, very
knee
visible.
braces, and then we went to them and they went, "No, you can't come through this way. No one can come through this way." But it says right here that we can. "Oh no, you can't." So what do we do?
Basically, they sent us the whole way around the XL. Bearing in mind, it's like a mile, isn't it, to walk around the XL?
Over a kilometre.
It's over a kilometre to walk all the way around the perimeter of the XL. They wouldn't let us walk through the XL, no, we had to walk all the way around the XL. And then by the time we got there, we were supposed to go in the accessibility entrance, of which they blocked it off for families. So us two were just stood here, having a lovely old panic attack in the queue because there was too many people.
Yeah, like it was horrific. I was like, I could feel myself, I could feel my tics started on, and I was like, I need to get out of the way of people now. So we just pegged it. Luckily, actually, they have I will give them credit, they have a breakout area and a quiet room that you can go to, that they have their stims and they have their beanbag chairs, and
Best hour of my life spent in that room.
Oh, it was amazing because you just switch off from everything, and then that led me on to realizing that I suck at sign language. So I'm trying to communicate with Key because Key's kind of switched off, turned the hearing aids off, and then there's just me going, I want to say something and I don't know how I'm going to say it. Because
we resorted to just hand signs, and we were like,
"You good? Yeah, cool."
It didn't work.
No, it didn't. So
I think you just kicked me at one point to be like, answer me.
Yeah. So that's one of our big ones that we've had.
One more, you can see the stage behind us. We're not actually sat on it like we should be, because none of us can get on that stage.
I will say that at this point I probably could, because I'm one of those people that are mobile one day and then not as mobile on another day. Like, my fatigue really kicks in, and I've had quite a tough few days recently, so I'm teetering. So if we do go with a question round at any point, it'll probably be me that goes and runs between people.
Yeah, you're going to be the runner.
Yeah, I'll slowly hobble, but again, doesn't make it any less valid that the fact that we can't sit on stage like normal people.
We're not normal, and I would never like being normal, so
This is true.
It's boring being normal.
boring. Next.
Do we have any other anecdotal things to say? I realise that this mic keeps cutting in and out, so
You know the best mic. Do we have any audience ones?
Does anyone have any stories that they would like to share, or any questions that they would like to share? Because this is what we're kind of having this discussion because we feel that it's needed, and
Absolutely. No other con, to my knowledge, has ever done this.
No, and to know you are not alone. There are other people. So did you have a story? Question? Either way, I'm coming. No, you say that.
We're coming, we're sending him over.
We'll get there.
So, am I still on? Yep.
Still on.
Hi, I
Hello.
know that accessibility has been really good here, but I never knew, with tickets and that, that you can get carer tickets as well. Only found out this year.
Absolutely. I think it's something that we should be way more publicised, and that is a great point, so thank you so much for sharing it.
And that's amazing. Thank you very much. Era tickets are definitely. Go on, Ava.
It's the same with a lot of accessibility things, to be honest. They're not publicised enough. A lot of people don't know about them and they will just struggle. Well, they just don't know.
I'll be honest.
Absolutely. Have we got any more questions, anecdotes, fun times? Go on.
Do you know earlier when we were shouting Gabby, Gabby, Gabby? Look who arrived.
We thought if we shouted your name 3 times, you'd turn up.
It's like Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Stole my joke.
So one of my stories is it's a big London con that I'm not naming. But I actually had a seizure in front of one of the stalls. And while I was on the floor, the staff complained that I was blocking to my partner who was, crying. They complained that I was blocking the exit, blocking the stalls, and people couldn't get in to buy things while I was having a grand mal, which is the second one I'd ever had. So probably good to have epilepsy training on staff with other cons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Valid, absolutely.
I do not know what to say about that.
Thank you very much for sharing that. I think training is a massive thing that needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Like when you get volunteers or you get staff, I really think that accessibility and disability and first aid training.
Train your staff, please.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've got a staff member from another con here who is trained in it, but like other cons, please train your staff. That's all I'm begging of you.
Even morning briefings really help. Just to
Literally,
get
that's
them
all we have. That's all we ask for.
People just need to be aware that some people aren't as able as others and they might have a medical emergency. So even just that, to be honest, just knowing that it might be a problem for someone and it's just as inconvenient for them as it is for you, honestly.
Anyone else got any more? Because we can just keep talking and we will just keep talking.
We're not going to shut up otherwise.
If you've ever spent any prolonged period of time with us, you realise that we are a nightmare. Okay, I see one just at the back. I'm coming. I'll get there slowly.
I feel like we need to do something to entertain everyone while they...
Should we do the Macarena?
Yeah. It'll be the sitting down version.
The sitting down Macarena. Hello there, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. So I can make this conversation, but I just have a question for you, veteran cosplayers. What would you say would be your top 10 things to pack for any con to go in your bag? We like water, sewing kits, spare batteries, a lot. What would you pack in your bag so you suggest people bring along?
Number 1, deodorant, please, bring a deodorant. That's all I'm going to say to you, deodorant.
Preferably roll on because people have breathing difficulties and aerosols can kick them off.
Oh yeah, tell me
But
about
deodorant, number 1, take it off, there you go, there's your first one.
Number 2, water or a water bottle. Cons, please provide a water refilling station.
That's all we ask
it. That would
for.
actually be great, yeah.
3, a little repair kit for if you're in a cosplay because things happen.
Yeah.
And not every con has a repair zone, unfortunately.
Which is
wink,
dumb.
wink.
We have a repair zone, but yeah. Like, bring pins and stuff, because if your cosplay falls apart in here, you're going to need pins.
Thanks.
Meds.
Medications, always bring your medications.
And if you are prone to anything like seizures or anything like that, any cards or anything that you'd need to hand over to a first responder or a first aider. So I know that some people do have to, but if they're not, then that's also cool.
Bring a friend. I know it's not in your con bag, but bring a friend.
What if I ain't got any?
Because if you haven't got any friends, make some friends at the con. Just make sure somebody knows where you are and what they can do to help you.
Which brings me on to another point, battery pack. Because if you have any issues, you can make sure your phone's charged, you can speak to people, you can call for help. It's just a really
You need
important.
to get one, to be fair. I always forget.
The wire to go in your battery pack.
I tend to not bring mine and then just steal Richie's, so it happens.
Alternatively, the friend comes in handy there if they have the cable too.
Yeah, I stole my friend's who's at the other Manchester con last night because I realised, my phone is on 6%, how am I going to order an Uber?
The same with deodorant. I stole somebody in the crowd's deodorant yesterday. Hello. Thank you for that.
Because we can have all of these grand plans in mind, and then you kind of get to it and you go, actually, I've got none of these. So yeah.
And if you have none of them, find your cosplay repair area, because they will have all of the above.
Another point, a notebook. It could be used before the con to remember all of these things. Make sure you take everything off.
I'm not opening mine up because there's things in it, but
We don't know. But then also, if you need to communicate anything, but you can't for whatever reason, you can write things down. You can write down anything you need to remember, anywhere you want to go. If you need to give anything to anyone, like contacts, it's always useful.
Yeah, if you are able to put in contact lenses, because I know that people can't touch their eyes or anything like that, then make sure you've got your actual glasses with you to change into, and so you can actually put your contact lens away, so like solution and your case and stuff like that. Fortunately, I have actually got prescription lenses to match my costume today, which is a first.
we love to see it. I'd say bring comfy shoes, spare shoes, and they're comfy, bring them.
And actually change into them.
Okay, don't call me out like that.
Well, we've got a house of entertainment somehow, it can't be.
Look, I'm sorry you almost had to carry me home last night, it's not my fault.
Okay, we're not beeping it out instead.
Right, anything else? What would you...
Pockets!
Pockets! Yeah, honestly, if your costume doesn't have pockets, like a bum bag or like a belt or a strap bag, or a backpack, or a backpack. Yeah, backpacks are great. I've added to my collection of eater bags recently, and yeah, that just adds to the weight, but it's pretty and I can't help it.
Backpacks are also useful for having your hands free, because if you're physically carrying something and you're picking something up that needs two hands, or you're holding one thing, you need another, it's just so much easier. Or alternatively, a bum bag as well.
Or do what Avon did and build secret pockets into their cosplays.
Yes!
Secret pockets, 100%.
Anyone? Yeah, okay.
Sounds around, yeah.
Obviously,
Did you turn it off? Oh, there we go. Do you want mine?
It's not closer. I can shout, don't worry.
Obviously, like a lot of these like types of events, they do like obviously attract like a lot of neurodivergent people, and it's like, is there like obviously like you should be polite with people when asking for photographs and stuff, but obviously if someone is like autistic and they're not very good at like handling like social things, but you want to ask for a photo, is there kind of like a more like sensitive etiquette or something like that? You know, if you think that someone might be anxious about something, but you know, it's that like I suppose it's kind of obvious, but you get what I mean.
I absolutely get what you mean. Like, just be kind to them is what I would say, and like make sure they feel comfortable with you, and always respect the fact that people have the right to say no. Yeah.
That's another thing. If they say yes, always ask if you want to hug them or you want to wrap your arm around them. Just make sure you get consent for everything you do, because especially if someone is neurodivergent, they are going to be more sensitive to things like being touched. So just ask if you want to do anything like that, and it goes both ways as well, so they should always ask you too.
Yeah, I definitely get that. If you are wondering about how to approach someone, just going up and saying, oh, by the way, I really, really like your cosplay. It's amazing. Can I have a photo? And then that opens up that channel of conversation. Always start with a compliment. Everyone loves a compliment.
We all love compliments. We've not spent hours doing our costumes for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we had another question here. Yeah. Oh, two.
Oh, so many questions. Oh, I'm excited.
Actually, I'm just going to have to keep swapping.
Speak this one and make do.
We worked on stage.
So yesterday I was in a queue and I found it really, really stressful. And I told like the person got really close in front of me and kept bumping me in the face because they were quite a bit taller than me. And when we had a discussion with him about that, he was like, I'm autistic as well, and he was just very heavily stimming. And we had a discussion about that. Like, should be open conversation in like between people to like fully admit that they have invisible disabilities between each other, or should it just be like people should wear like badges and stuff?
You express your disability in whatever way you're comfortable with. If you like to wear a lanyard, a badge, whatever it may be, then do so. We love it. But if you don't want to, then that is more than okay too. If you just want to express verbally, that is okay. You do whatever you're comfortable with. And people need to be aware as well that someone might have an invisible disability, and that needs to be respected. So if someone doesn't have anything on, don't assume that they are able-bodied or neurotypical just because you can't see it. So it is an awareness thing as well.
I think we have another question just over here.
Yeah, so basically I've heard a lot of like horror stories from lots of other cons about like people with wheelchairs or mobility aids, that kind of thing, and about how like other people, like other cosplayers or people who just want a photo kind of like touching the mobility aids or like sometimes even moving them. And I want to know like what's your insight on that basically?
Please don't move our mobility aids. They're there for a reason, and if you move them, then maybe we won't be able to use them as we should be able to. And I think you can definitely weigh on that with your scooter and everything.
Yeah, so whether you have a scooter, a wheelchair, whether it's powered, it's not powered, you move it yourself, whether someone moves it for you, always ask consent. If you need to move something, that's fine, but make sure you ask, because someone might need to reach it, just like you said. It could get broken, which then leaves that person potentially stranded. I know one of my friends who is in a wheelchair, just going through a street, he's had people just come along and push his wheelchair, and that happens at cons too. So just don't do it.
Yeah, I think some people try and, like, genuinely they do want to help, and they're like, oh, let me push that for you, and it takes so, it's very degrading, isn't it? It takes all the power out of actually being yourself and being able to move around, and like yes, we know we need help, but I don't need help from a stranger. I know, but it's heartbreaking sometimes.
If you do see someone struggling, it is okay to ask them if they need any help. If they say yes, brilliant, but if they say no, respect that, because a lot of people just want to feel independent. And by helping them without asking, or thinking you're helping without asking, because sometimes it is more of a hindrance, it takes away that feeling of independence altogether.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright.
Do we have any more questions?
I'm going to throw. I like this corner. This corner.
row is asking
I
all the
like this.
Really making our way down the row here. Obviously props are a very big part of cosplay, and having various props that you need to hold at all times and pose for photos in, but sometimes for, be it mobility reasons or just general muscle strain, are there any workarounds as to how to take that sort of stress off of holding a prop all the time?
I did this in May, didn't I?
Your skateboard.
Yes, my skateboard. I had a skateboard, and I actually used a roller skating strap, and I strapped it over my back so I could just walk out, and I had all my hands free, and I was like, this is great, because I'm like, I don't have to carry anything anymore. So straps, or like put it in your belt loop or something like that. I really like keychains and stuff like that.
It's okay to add things like holsters and holders, even if they're not as accurate. It's okay, and if someone has that, respect it, because there might be a reason for it.
Absolutely. Also, take regular breaks, because I know I'm a sucker for it. I have the world's heaviest props. Like, there's one of my 5.5 foot swords over there, and I have to carry that around. But like, put it down, take your breaks, look after yourself first and foremost.
And if you see someone on a break, don't disturb it. Some people will go up to cosplayers who are clearly just sat down and resting, they're eating or something, and ask for a photo or try and have a conversation with them, but they are having a break. They are recharging, they're gathering energy to carry on for the rest of the day. Just leave them to it and find them again later.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sorry. Sit a spell, because I need to. I did say this would happen. Sometimes I could just be in mid-conversation and I would just blank. I don't know why, but I just do. Did we have any other questions or any stories or anything else that they would like to add?
Is our favourite row going to give us more questions? Oh, there we go, more questions. Don't worry, I'll go.
We can,
I'll go.
Oh, okay.
I'm going. Oh my god, there's so many of them on this row. Hello.
For those who speak sign, what is your favourite sign?
I'm not doing it because it's not appropriate.
You don't have to. Do an appropriate one then. This is chicken.
That's chicken.
That's chicken.
I have another animal related
Where did that come in handy, Lily? I was just thinking that.
Yeah, we did. Oh, we did say we were going to learn some signs. Should we do it? Should we?
Should I pass it along?
It's cute, isn't it?
So I was curious on your opinions on the global cosplay and just convention etiquette and awareness around disability. How well do you think that is?
Globally, yes.
I feel like the phrase accessibility is important is thrown around a lot. I feel like there's just sentence like, oh, it needs to happen, these conversations need to happen, but then nothing ever actually changes. No useful conversations are had. It's just accessibility is important. Disabled cosplayers are important, but then there are no real changes. So something like a sit-down conversation like this is brilliant because it raises specific awareness, not just accessibility.
Yeah, I think in competitions, cosplay competitions as well, it's extremely important. Accessibility is important, but it is because there are three or four people that are going to be, if you're participating in a cosplay competition, they're going to be looking at your cosplay and they've already looked at you and judged your costume and your making. But then the organisers have decided they're not actually going to put a ramp onto the stage. Again, like this. Luckily, the L Masquerade here has an accessibility lift. But if it's something like this, which we've been to, they then had to move everyone to participate on the floor. So the audience missed from their waist down of their costume. The judges were then put on the stage, so the judges could only see the backs of their performances. It's a really big oversight that someone needs to think about before you actually get to the con and go, okay, we don't know any of yet, but there might do, so let's put something in place to make sure that everyone can access the stage and everyone can have an equal opportunity in this competition, or even if you're just doing it for fun and you want to just get up on stage and show off your work.
It's absolutely degrading as well when people with accessibility issues are told they can't compete because there's no ramps for them. I'm going to you on that one, Avon.
It's happened to me a couple of times where I've tried to sign up and they've gone, oh, we don't have a ramp. So then I've had to push myself to be able to compete, because if I didn't do that, then what else can I do?
Stages as well, they're never accessible. They're always up steep stairs.
I will give props to Insomnia in Birmingham, because they actually had a really long ramp, and it was wide enough to fit wheelchairs in. It was wide enough to get two people at both rows, and the only downside is there was not a ramp on the other side to get down, so you had to come out the way you were next to someone that was preparing to go on stage. But it was actually well thought of, and it wasn't just an afterthought of oh damn it, we need a ramp quick.
As well as there not being a ramp, you just end up being carried on stage, which is incredibly degrading. I think a lot of people with the same issue have experienced this at some point or another, being physically carried upstairs or lifted and thrown up. It happens a lot and it's not fun.
Yeah, I literally had to get shoved onto this stage this morning because those steps aren't fun, so... Any more questions? Oh, we've got one. Oh, thank God.
We've got two.
Oh, don't give him the microphone.
Okay, this is going to be a bit of a complex question, so you might not listen. So, over the... There we go. No.
Switch out mics, that one
Yeah.
didn't work very well.
That working now.
There we go.
Yeah, so in the last couple of, I'd say maybe 5 to 10 years, do you think that cosplay, as well as the community around it, has changed for the better? Like, in regards to, like, I would say, within the last 5 to 10 years, it's become
No, cosplayers are assholes.
like, how to put it? Like, people are more accepting on cosplays than they used to be, in my opinion. And I feel like, would you say that the acceptance of how people do and perceive cosplays now compared to the past is better or worse?
I think it's a lot better. To be honest, there's been this huge societal shift for everything in the last 5-10 years. People have become more accepting of people having different hobbies, people looking different, people having different accessibility needs, and that has definitely been reflected in the cosplay community, which is a good thing. Please keep doing it.
I definitely think it's become more inclusive in the last few years, at the very least.
Yeah, I think the shift from like, it was kind of a, oh, you bought your cosplay, ugh, to, oh, you bought your cosplay, oh, that's so cool. Like, it's now okay, you know, it still was okay, because I've been buying costumes, but I do make them as well, but not as often as I really should. But yeah, it's definitely helped, because then people are going, that's pretty cool. But yeah, there is still a long way to go, I think.
It's not perfect, but it's getting better. We're moving in the right direction.
That's the word. Right, I'm going to throw to one more question. Should we do signs after?
Yeah, one more question. Make it a good one.
Make it a good.
Okay, breathe.
I was just going to say, if you notice there's less use of strobe lighting, because I remember when I used to go to cons, I couldn't enter masquerades, I couldn't go to opening ceremonies, and they all relied on strobe lighting. And there was a con I was at in 2010 where me and another person asked if we could maybe not do strobe lighting, and we were told it would ruin the atmosphere, so just don't come to the opening ceremony, we could watch it online from our room. Not great. But I've noticed there's less use of strobe lighting, and I don't know if anyone else has kind of felt that, or I'm just so used to not going to so many things, so I don't know, what do you guys think?
I mean, I had an issue yesterday with strobe lighting, but like with like, yeah, I was sat on stage yesterday judging, obviously, but there's strobe lighting on, and when it like comes, you were on stage with me as well, when it comes around this way, it's not good.
Yeah, I think there is still some use of it, but it should be displayed if they're going to use it, and coming from me who actually works in film and TV, if we use that as part of our production, it will be limited to the number of lights flashing per second, and it has to be reduced, even because we have people that we don't even know have any seizures or have any prones or negative reactions to strobe lighting, but we can't take that risk, so they actually do reduce them down if they want to use it for that effect.
I think a lot of the change has just come from awareness, which is why we push it so much. Being aware of something means that change can happen, so everyone can be included in an equal way, and we don't have people being told they can't go to opening ceremonies and having to watch it in their room. It comes from awareness, and the more we can talk about these things, then the better things will be.
Absolutely, yeah, completely agree.
Yeah, I think that's good. But if there is, like, I know we've kind of just said if anyone wants to ask a question, put your hands up. I understand there might be people who are non-verbal, or there may be people that don't feel confident or have anxiety in asking questions in a big group forum like this. But
Come and ask us after this.
Exactly. Or even send us a message.
Yeah, we're all nice people.
It's another way of communicating to people, and I understand that there's no
I was very mad about that. I had a whole like presentation that was like dyslexia friendly, and like if you were deaf, but there's no presentation board, so
yeah. And then there's me, like I can't read off a white background, so I have to have a different colour, and it's all of that sort of thing. I can, but it's like having dyslexia turned up to 10, because everything starts moving more than it does having dyslexia as well.
No. Well, you don't have to come with paper.
I think that's it, isn't it? Shall we?
I'm gonna teach some people some signs. I feel like I'm gonna have to stand on the stage because no one's gonna be able to see me.
If you
Can I steal that to get on this stage?
Would you like some
'Cause
assistance?
these not nice at all. These steps are very steep. Avon, there you go. Thank you very much. No, it's fine. I'm just gonna.
Would you
I'm gonna roll off the stage later.
Would you like me to hold the microphone for you?
Yes,
so you can
I can't. I need hands.
Okay.
I have no hands.
I can't hands, please.
I only have no hands. Are you good?
I'm good. Right, let's turn this one off so we don't get feedback. Right. So the first time we're gonna learn is cosplay because that's what we're doing here today. So costume is a mixture of two signs. So it's the sign for costume. This is costume, and this is play. So to me, cosplay is cosplay. So we all do it with me. So cosplay. Cosplay.
I can only do this with one hand.
Do it with one hand, it's fine. But that's your first sign, cosplay. I'm also going to teach you the sign for making and buying cosplay. So this is make. You just sort of like roll your hands around each other. This is make. It's a fun sign. And then this is buy. It's sort of like cash, you know, it's sort of like with cash. It's also the same sign for money, so they double up. In sign language, you have to like... You have to, obviously you don't verbalize it, but you make the shapes with your mouth so that people know what you're saying, really.
You can all learn from my correction, so there you go.
I'm going to teach you the basics as well because I like basics as well. So this is hello. Give me a wave.
Oh, really?
Hello, everybody.
Hi. I thought that was bye.
But this is also goodbye, so everybody. We've got thank you. This is thank you. Straight down. And please is thank you. It's just shorter. So this is please, and this is thank you.
Oh.
So please is the shorter version of thank you.
Okay.
I'm also going to teach you how to say your names. This is going to be hard, but it's your armor. Let me go on this side. Thank you. So name, this is how you do name. Name. So you put your fingers towards your head and then you flick them outwards. So this is name. Name. So you would say, in English you would say my name is, but in sign language it's different, like the verb is structured differently. So you, instead of saying my name and then signing your name, you would say name, no, you'd say name me and then you'd sign your name. It's just a different like verb structure to it is in English. So if I was going to do it, I have a signed name though, so I'm just going to do that. So if I was to do it, it'd be like name me Fairy Nora, and like this is a sign for fairy, so this is what I use. But yeah, I would teach you the alphabet, but I think there's too many people here to learn that. So.
What about basics like I like your costume or
Oh yeah. We'll do like and dislike and all that.
Yeah.
So we're not doing dislike, that's me. But so like is you just tap your chest twice. So just tap your chest twice, that is like. And love is this, it's both hands. I'm going to do dislike because I have to do all three. Dislike is you, like you were going to do like, but you'd go and you just swipe it away from you. So that's dislike. So if you're going to put it in a sentence, you'd be like, you'd go up to someone and you'd be like, I like your, oh no that's your, your cosplay. And that's how you would put it in a sentence.
One more time, one more time.
Yeah, one more time.
One more time. How do you sign one?
It's good, we're good.
Are we good?
Carry on.
So if you were going to do it, you'd be like, I like your cosplay. Because so basically the ways you do it with your fingers, so this is me, or I, they're basically the same. But when you close your fist and do it that way, it means my, so it's the different version of it. Because as if I was pointing someone, this is you,
I made that joke.
but this is your. So they're two different ways of doing it. So if I was going to say, it simplified it, this would be like if I was doing laptop, which I'm not. If I was going to say, you cosplay like, you do it as a you instead of your. But yeah, fun.
You cosplay like.
And that was the whistle stop tour of sign language. If you want any more, please come speak to me after the show.
Oh, what's photo? What's photo? Oh, just that's easy.
Photo.
Oh, I actually did it without even knowing. Okay.
You'd be surprised at how much we kind of use natural signs anyway, and what like the international symbols for things. Because like okay, is the same in every language. It's internationally known. Okay.
Just straight up fight someone up with
Yeah, camera is literally just like photography on camera is literally just this.
People do that.
Are you done? Okay. Oh. Right, we're gonna have a bonus.
I'll get that.
I'd
Are
like
you sure?
I'll roll off the stage.
They see me rolling.
I'm rolling. Where am I going? Going over here.
I can't get there.
Where do you think it's best for people to learn signs for people who require it? So there's a website. Has this gone off? No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
There's a website called learnbsl.com, and if you type in any word ever, it will give you the sign for it. So you can learn it that way. And there's also the Royal Deaf Society has a website that you can also like take a full course on it. I think it's like a quid, and you get access to it for like 3 years, and it's the best thing ever. So that's what I would recommend.
Or you can follow Fairy Nora, who makes
Or you could follow me!
Cosplay videos to do with sign language, and it's all appropriate to what we use.
You could follow me, or you could go to learnbsl.com. Where am I going? Where am I going?
From the Tetris block.
Oh, I'm not going over there then.
I'm good.
So we were just saying, so in the context of the con, if sort of related back to what you were saying earlier about asking for consent with pictures and something, but if you wanted to sign that, what would be the sort of appropriate way to sign that? Would you sort of say, me picture you?
Yeah, that's literally the best way to do it. That is literally the best way to do it.
All right, I just
Because
want...
I have apparently forgotten the sign for can right now, so I would tell you, but I've forgotten.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if the syntax was sort of the right way around, or...
No, that is the right syntax.
Okay.
It would be right.
Out the word syntax.
You.
Absolutely. No, use the other one. Use the pointy one.
You.
You, there we go.
Your picture, though. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, we've sparked off some conversations.
Oh,
we
love this.
We were like, oh, we don't know if we're going to make this long enough, and then
how much time have we got
now? We have 12 minutes.
Brilliant, look at that. A whole hour of you listening to us.
If you wanted to sign something, say to ask, like, hey, do you need help or anything? If you maybe see someone who's kind of in distress, or, you know, like, their hearing aid isn't working or anything.
I can teach you the sign for can I help you. That is the best. I'm going to have to stand up again.
Yeah.
Roll the stage.
There we go.
To see your rule.
That was very ungraceful. This is about to be ungraceful as well. So the sign for can I help?
So you bring your hand up, you go.
You bring your hand up.
Okay, you're going to narrate it.
Yeah, I'm going to narrate it.
Bring your hand here and you go, can I help you?
You bring your hand up. Can I help you?
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 Without the
Yeah, it's basically you asking them. So this
you are asking them.
Can I money?
Yeah, so you're putting it all together. You ask, so you go can, and then help, and then you put that all together.
And it's the sign. It's got its own special sign.
You know what?
You sign with your dominant hand. So basically,
Oh, we just went to the disability panel.
if you're doing like the alphabet, which requires like, I'll do the vowels, because the vowels for the alphabet are A, E, I, O, and U. You'd use your whatever your dominant hand is as your pointer finger to point at your things. So whatever you need to do the most with, you do it with your dominant hand. So if you're left-handed, you do it the other way. Yeah, absolutely like that.
And if you're ambidextrous like me, you kind of
do what you want.
Switch. It's a lot easier. I'd say like American Sign Language is a lot more of one hand, isn't it? They use a lot more of that.
ASL is one hand. I can do the alphabet in ASL, but BSL is both hands.
Right. I think there is one more question.
There is one more. We've got one more.
We'll make this the actual.
This is the last question.
Last question.
Just because we're going to start running over into other people's panel time, otherwise.
We don't like that. We don't like getting told off. Oh, I'm coming. Okay. Sorry, me again. Whoa. How do you sign for are you overwhelmed or do you want to go somewhere quieter?
Oh, that's a new one on me. The sign for quiet I can do, but so the sign for quiet is you literally just do this next to your ear. This is the sign for like reducing noise and quiet. So I don't know the one for overwhelm. So it's like if you want to go somewhere, you'd be like, you go, because this is go. Basically, sign language is a lot of pointing, and you can do a lot of things with pointing. So this is like everybody. You just sort of point at everybody. So it's like, do you want to go like somewhere quiet? You just basically do it like that.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And
I'm gonna go home and learn that one because I don't know overwhelmed.
Every day is a school day.
Every day is a school day.
It has brought me on to one point that we kind of haven't spoken about, and that's like image descriptions for social media.
Absolutely. Forgot about that.
I completely forgot about that because some conventions they like. Well, when cosplayers put pictures online, you can do alt text, which is now on Twitter. You can do image descriptions, which is on Instagram. TikToks, you could have the text underneath that puts it in for you. But also, not every con, as you can tell, has a BSL interpreter. Some do,
absolutely
some don't. If you know that there is going to be a BSL interpreter at the convention you're going to, if you're giving a panel, if you're going in a competition or something like that, if you have anything that you need them to sign out for you, take it to them in advance. I have learned the hard way, and I put a very, very big stress on their BSL when they had to interpret M&M rapping. To translate Rap God. It was, I know, it was great. The video looks fantastic, but I do feel bad for that. So please respect your interpreters.
Give your interpreter stuff in advance. Hard stuff like this rap god, please do that.
If you also have like an audio description as well, like if you, for example, are visual impaired, sometimes you have someone with you, and the organisers can get you the text of what is being said and what is being described. So like I'm a performer and a drag performer as well, and sometimes before the show we'll actually write out a blurb to say this is what we're wearing, this is what we're performing to, and then their interpreter can sit there next to them and go, this is what's happening at this point, and they will read it out for you. It's great. Because
absolutely, that's a big thing.
Anything like that. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I also forgot about that one. Whoops.
Whoops. We got the deaf part. We didn't quite get the blind part. But without my glasses, I am partially blind, so this is also fun. And then
fun times.
Avon, I've realised I just left you there. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. We're fine. We're chilling down here.
Have fun. Well, this has been the Accessibility and Disability panel. I hope you've learned something. Oh, thank you. I didn't get a cheer for the last panel. This is nice.
That's very cool. You can find us on any social medias. Thank you to the Guild of Nerds for
giving us this space.
Yeah, giving us a space. And I'm going to thank Fairy Nora Cosplay for literally dragging me up to this, going, can you help, please? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
And that's how we got all these
and that's how we're here.
But if you want to talk to us after this, we're over there in the Guild of Nerds area section, cosplay zone. Just come drag us and we'll speak to you.
That is if I'm not in a cupboard. So I don't even mean that funnily. I'm doing the pre-judging in the little cloakroom bit. So I apologise, but I'm not around. But my business cards are all there as well. So
yeah, that's also if I'm not on stage hosting the masquerade. So yeah,
I will be there for the rest of the day. So
come and grab me if you want me.
Yeah, if you want someone, grab Avon because they'll be there.
Even if you get at any point, if you kind of get overwhelmed or go, I need someone to talk to, or I need to be away from someone, just grab any. I'm absolutely fine to just grab someone away. I just need someone there with me, just to sit with me for 5 minutes whilst I have a little anxiety attack.
Come grab us. Okay. That's what we're here for. That's what we're promoting today.
Yeah. Yay.
But thank you for coming. We've been the Guild of Nerds, and thank you for coming. We're staying, Sarah. We're staying.
Okay. Right, let's get this.